Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to JKWD. We hope you're having an awesome day. We are halfway through 2021. I know that doesn't feel real, but it is. No matter what we do, time just keeps moving forward, and there's nothing we can do about it, even if we throw away our watches. Kelvin, how you doing?
Time keeps on tripping into the future. Is that the words of that song? I'm doing fine, Mr. Shear. It is wonderful here. Let me see. What's the weather look like? Yeah. Looks walkable. Life's good. I got oxygen in the air. I'm feeling great. That's just where I'm at. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing wonderful. We'll talk about where we've been, where we're going, but I am so happy with where I am at the moment. So I'm going to take this one as a win. And speaking of winning,
yes, sir.
You can win 4 weeks free. Vitamin K Daily, vitaminkdaily.com. Get yourself 4 weeks free. Learn how to win every day. You just got to win your day, one day at a time. And once you make a habit of that, it seems like the whole life just follows.
There you go.
Vitamin K Daily. Get yourself a daily dose of positive from the Prince of Positive himself, Mr. Kelvin P. Ringgold Sr. He's the guy on the other mic, not the other end of this mic, because that would be weird and you wouldn't actually hear him.
And I'm a real far away from where he's at with that mic.
It's true. Of course, if you were 5 inches from me and talking into the wrong end of a mic, we wouldn't ever hear you anyway. So I'm glad you're on that mic instead of the plug end of this one.
Well,
4 weeks free. Get
your force would have to be with me, Mr. Shear.
That's true. Get your daily dose of positive. 4 weeks free. vitaminkdaily.com. vitaminkdaily.com. Let's do the show. Josh and Kelvin World Domination Podcast, where we talk about better humanhood and teach you how to dominate your world. You ready? Here we go. Man, I feel like I'm struggling a little bit with the words.
Have you been drinking?
No, maybe I should start.
That 6 miles wore you out this morning.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, really.
And no alcohol was involved.
No, maybe it should be. But, I have had some sushi and some steak. Like you said, I ran 6 miles this morning. We're recording this a week and a half ago, so I'll actually be running a little less in the week leading up to this, and we'll talk about that. But,
sure.
Yeah, we're halfway through the year, Kelvin.
Yes, we are. And there have been times when we wasn't sure that was going to actually happen.
No. Well, we have made it.
We're there.
In a couple of days, even as we're recording this a little over a week ago. Yeah, it comes out. What would the date be? The 28th. So yeah, 2 days to the end of the month.
Yep. Yeah, and things are looking up. The governor just took off most of the COVID restrictions, unless you read the fine print.
That would be a governor in New York.
That would be a governor in New York, yes. So we've got people who are happy about the things that are changing here. So I, of course, being of the unvaccinated kind, continue to wear my mask and stuff like that, and then we'll just see what's going on. But
yeah,
it's good.
He actually made some sense, with regard to masks and vaccines, and in his announcing the opening, somebody asked him, what about unvaccinated people? And he said, I'm vaccinated. You're vaccinated. Let them worry about them.
There you go.
Vaccines are free. Go get one if you want. If you don't want it, just understand you're still at the same risk you were before, except all these other people are now vaccinated and not as likely to pass on to you if they are infected but asymptomatic.
Correct. So,
yeah.
But,
our vaccination rate here in Georgia is much lower than it is up there in New York.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I think it's about half. I think New York's
wow. We were at 70% the other day.
Yeah, we're about 36% fully vaccinated.
Oh, wow. Okay. Big difference there.
Yeah. And I think that's just, we were one of the first states to open up to everybody. So
right.
I think that's really a matter, we being Georgia, I think that's just a matter of desire, not access. So
yeah.
Right now, cases don't seem to be spiking, but we'll see what happens in the middle of the year as more people.
It's summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah. So like I said, I'm as reasonably careful as I've always been. So, and I'm not putting anybody in particular jeopardy. So we're good. Yep. That's all right. I haven't taken the shingles vaccine either. So it's. That's a whole other thing.
I will definitely be taking that one when I get to 50 because I got chicken pox when I was 29, and
wow,
it was bad,
ugly. Yeah,
and shingles is the same virus. So I think I will not be messing with that.
Well, there you go.
I'll take the shot and feel lousy for a few hours. It's all right.
Okay, enjoy it. Peace and health and prosperity be with you, my son.
And also with you.
Yes. So, the conversation today.
Where are we at? We're 6 months in, and JKWD is still ticking. We're coming out every week. Still haven't missed an episode. Still 6 a.m. every Monday. Lands in my podcast feed, probably when it lands in everybody else's too, 6 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, y'all are listening, right? Oh, wait a minute. I'm talking to the audience. Forget that. Never mind.
And yeah. Well, y'all are in addition to listening, y'all are passing this along to your friends and leaving ratings and reviews, right? So that more people find us. Yeah, just throwing that out there. Yes. But how are you doing? How are you doing toward your goals and where you hope to be, and then tell us what's next for the rest of the year.
I gotta tell you, things have been weird. Things have been weird, but as far as I'm doing fine. I made a couple of changes a couple of weeks ago, maybe more than a couple of weeks ago, because things had just gotten kind of COVIDized. So I'm like, things are slipping. Maybe I'm not as diligent as I was, not being as intentional as I was. So I decided that I would put some more intention into my life instead of just kind of floating around and seeing where the wind took the feather, And actually, that's felt pretty good. I've done some things with intention and felt good about it, which made me do some other things with intention, which made me feel good about that. So I'm moving in the proper direction, taking some other deliberate steps to get where I want to go, which includes beefing up my coaching business and every other enterprise that I am involved with. So that's really good. Plus, I've actually taken a little additional responsibility for my health instead of just going, oh well, that's not going to bother me. I'm actually doing some things on purpose with some food and regimens that again, with intention, things that help to create discipline. And I'm kind of happy with that right now. And despite the fact that I'm not a plant guy, I'm actually considering buying a plant. Now, you have no idea what kind of mindset shift that represents, that I am considering getting a plant. I mean, for the inside. That's almost a religious moment.
I suppose it. So, as somebody who used to not be a plant person, and I'm really not a plant person, but I got a couple of succulents to sell my desk. Now, succulents, that means you don't really have to water them almost ever. And it's very hot in my garage. So I basically have a cactus here. I have to.
Yeah, it's a little meaty for a cactus.
Right? I have to water it every like month. But I have this problem that maybe it's not a problem. I'm not sure if it died, if I would feel guilty. So I don't know that I'm actually like, I know that the mindset is kind of, I don't want another. Yeah. I don't know if this is where you're coming from for your mindset, but you know, I mean, it is. I don't want something I have to take care of that can't handle itself.
Right.
You know, because you don't have kids in the house. You know, you get to see your grandbaby. I don't know why my mom is working today. You get to see your grandbaby every now and then, and take care of your grandchild, but not like long term. Like not.
I haven't had to change a diaper yet.
You haven't really had the baby long enough that at one shot that you have to take interventions that you're.
I had to
before it dies.
I had to feed her once. I mean,
if you hadn't fed her, she would have survived. She would have just cried a lot, and you would have been annoyed.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her mother would have slapped me around, but
yeah.
But yeah, she'd have been all right. I mean, it wasn't like days.
Right.
Just a few minutes.
So you weren't, and no pets for sure.
Nah.
But so this plant represents life that you are responsible for caring for maintaining. Maybe caring is the wrong reason.
You know, when you put it that way, I might not get one.
Right. Well, my question was going to be, what's your level of guilt if a plant dies? Like, is that gonna eat at you?
No, not really. I used to have some, what is that plant? String plants. I don't know. I had plants. I was really having a good time. Not chrysanthemum. What was this plant? You know, you put them in I knew what it was before I started talking about it. Anyway, they're almost impossible to kill. As a matter of fact, my ex-wife, the third one, used to go to work and pull them out of the trash can when somebody had taken these dried up leafy plants and put them in the trash can and bring them home, water them, wave her hand over them. And then they would be wonderful, wonderful plants. And I'm like, I killed one of those accidentally because I thought I was being nice to it because it was in the house. It was a nice, pretty day outside. I took it outside so it could get some real sun and not through the window. But I forgot to bring it in, and the temperature dropped that night, and it rained. I was going to put it in some real rainwater, not just stuff out of the sink that I moved over. And then it got chilly that night, and it gave it a cold or something, and it came in and wilted and turned yellow and started to shrivel up, and I was feeling so guilty. I killed the plant, and eventually I had to throw it away, and I haven't had a plant since.
Yeah.
And the only plants I deal with is when I cut the grass every month or so. But however, from a Feng Shui point of view, I'm told that plants would be good for me. So I'm considering just bringing the life back into the house just so I have some feng shui. Maybe, I may even get me some crystals, maybe get some crystals or something. But anyway, just a little bit more life, a little bit of real oxygen, just to, and I can set an alarm like once every 2 weeks to water it or something if I need to.
Well, you can always get those bulbs too. Like they got those bulbs that are like time release water.
Oh yeah, well,
you just fill those up and you stick them in there, and when they're empty, you
so it
fill them back up. But it only releases the water when it needs it. So
yeah, so it may not be a bad idea. So I'm thinking about doing that, and just for the ambiance or whatever it is you call it when you put a plant in your house. And plus, I've been told by people in the know that they actually create oxygen on their own. So hey. And I'm sure perhaps one day some incredible woman will come into my life and go, oh, how sensitive you have a plant. By then, I perhaps may have developed a sensitivity for plants. Then I have to decide if I want her in my space. I didn't say that. Well, this is an interesting podcast.
Okay, so plants aside, anything measurable that you've done or that you plan to do?
Yes. I actually planned, I know you've heard this before, to finish my book this year.
Okay, this year, all right.
I actually did some more work on it. And if not the whole book, then at least some publications from what have been the book. In the past, I've considered, motivational cards, and I've certainly got enough stuff that I can do some motivational cards for. And just to do them and have them, that shouldn't take nearly as much planning and logistics as the actual book. But it might give me something else to add to the book. So I have the urge to create a product that I can offer for sale, that people can benefit from, just because I want to contribute to the world.
All right.
So I'm planning to do that. So, and of course, kick up my podcast, get a little more regular with that, because strangely enough, I've got people asking for it, going, when are you gonna do another podcast? So, and I won't be able to use our podcast as a reason,
right?
Especially since we talk about two different things and different times and stuff like that. So just some fun.
Did you have an answer when people ask you about?
Beg your pardon. I'm sorry.
Do you have an answer when people ask you when you're going to do another one? Are you are you willing to commit to a?
No, not yet. Okay. But it's June.
We'll call it June 28th.
Well, actually, by the time this comes out, I may have actually done one. So
okay.
So I may just do that just to force the issue. So, and apparently, I have some people in the ether who are wondering where I am, and I really hate to keep fans waiting. So that is I'm looking forward to getting back to that. It's fun. I've been doing a lot of stuff lately in prep and just putting stuff together and doing things with intention, which we talked about before. That has increased my energy level.
Good.
I'm feeling good about things.
Yeah, we talked about that recently in the podcast too.
Yeah.
But we'll leave it.
Yeah. So I'm feeling really great. Really great about that. So yes, sir. How about you? Well,
awesome.
You talked about your stuff for the most part. So.
Well, no, I think we talked about it before we started. So I got 3 major projects this year. First is the book. Research is done. I said I was going to have the research
done.
I said I was going to have the research done by the end of Q2. Research is done.
Awesome.
I'm starting to organize my notes into where they're going to be in chapters.
Mhm.
I'm going to aim to be actively writing by the middle of Q3.
Is this after the half marathon?
No. It'll be well before that. So we'll like I said, we're gonna aim to get writing by the middle of Q3. I have no idea how long it's gonna take. I'll have a better idea. Hopefully in 3 months when we do our Q3 wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one project that I met that goal. I have another project, the Make It Yours podcast, launching 2022. It's a creativity focused podcast about not reinventing the wheel.
Really?
The first 52 episodes, plus a trailer, are scripted. They're not recorded yet, but I plan to start recording in this coming quarter. We'll see if I can get them all recorded and produced before Q4, but we'll see if we can make that. That might be a lot. That's 53 episodes that I've got queued, that I've got scripted. So
sweet.
We'll see if I can get those all produced and starting to queue them. I'm not going to release the name of the website yet, but I'll have that the next one of these we do, the next quarter wrap.
Great.
I already have a logo for it that I went to 99 Designs and worked with a designer. And
awesome.
By the way, if you got a few $100s to spend on a logo, it's well worth it. Yeah, I've paid for logos before. You're just going straight to a design shop and meeting with somebody and hoping they did what I wanted them to. And I got to tell you, going through 99 Designs was pretty awesome. That I had a discount code and an upgrade that I got from another podcast that I listened to, and I got submissions from 60 something designers.
Wow. And
some of them multiples. And throughout the first round, I think the first round's like a week long or something. Throughout the first round, you can tell people like it's not just all incoming. You can tell people what you like, what you don't like about their designs. You can tell people, hey, I like this, but if you tried it this way, I might like it more. And then after a week, you can pick 6 to move on to the next round and work with everybody individually. And then at the end, you can award one. And if you can't decide between a couple at the end of the second round, you can buy both. You can add on for less than.
So here's a question for you. Now, when you submitted that for design, what'd you give them to work with? Did you have something in mind you wanted them to work around?
Yeah, so I wanted it to be a graffiti, like a graffiti type logo. I knew the words obviously, but I didn't need like an image. Like I didn't need like a logo mark, like like the Pepsi curve thing. I didn't need that. I just wanted like Pepsi's got their circle wave in it. Yeah. Like I didn't need like a mark. I just needed the text logo. And so I said graffiti style logo. Here's the words. I want to be able to put this both as a podcast logo, so it needs to be square, and I want to be able to put it on a t-shirt and other stuff, but t-shirt specifically. And so that's what I started with. And as I got ideas come in, as the artists came in with ideas, I was always like, okay, I like that, I like that, I like that. Let me add this to the, I could add it to the, what I want, so that people could see, okay, so this is not going to be like a neon yellow and orange thing. Like he doesn't want that. So right, exactly. So they were able to work from there.
Cool. Sounds interesting. I may have to give that some thought.
Yeah, and I'll give you the, if you're going to go that way, I'll give you the code that I had. So
cool.
I won't give it on the podcast since it's not our code to give.
I can understand it.
Yeah. So the measurable goal there is stuff recorded by the end of the quarter. I also plan to have the shop up with the merchandise and the website launched by the end of the quarter. So if I'm not fully recorded and scheduled, as long as I'm ready to launch and got the first half of them done, then I'll be happy.
Yeah, having that first half done that's a good one. That's a good one. So
and then the other thing is, the health and fitness end. As of this recording, I've dropped 9 pounds. You alluded earlier to the fact that I ran 6 miles this morning. I'm registered for 2 races, one in November, one in December. The November is the longer one. It's a half marathon. The one in December it's not really a 15K. It's a 5K plus a 10K.
Okay.
So you run a 5K and then you got to wait until the start of the 10K.
Wow.
So it's not a straight. It's not a straight longish run. It's broken up.
Were you sober when you signed up for that?
Yeah. Okay. And that one's only 9.6, and I've run 13.1 a month before that.
Okay.
But normally, I've done a few half marathons, and I'm going to use the same 20-week program. But normally, I try getting a couple miles in the week or two before to try to not be starting from absolute zero.
Right.
But I've been going for a little while. Like I said, I lost 9 pounds. I've been working with a trainer for the last month and a half on some lifting, and I'm still running a fair bit. 6 miles doesn't show up in my training program until week 5.
Right.
And when this comes out, I'll have completed week 1 of of my training. But I feel very confident as of this recording, as of when we're actually recording this a week and a half ago, that week 1 will go smoothly, because I've done those miles and I've done them well. I've done those distances and I've done them well. And I've already, something I often struggle with the first few weeks of training is figuring out my hydration and my food and my fuel. And so far, I've experimented a whole bunch and really narrowed down to, I figured out the pre-workout I like. I figured out a hydration system. I'm going to move to a new carry system, I think. I carry a bottle in my hand.
Right.
And it's been bothering my elbow. Like my elbow has been, like, I've had joint problems with the elbow on the hand that I carry for over a year. And I'm sure it's related to carrying a full water bottle, diminishing along the way. But I'm sure that that's contributed highly to it. So I'm working my way to a belt system, but I need to take a little more off my belly for the water bottles to actually fit in the belt. So, but we're gonna get there.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm 5'2" and right now I woke up this morning at 178 pounds.
So you lost some more.
I lost some, and I'm
good job.
The lightest I've ever run this thing is at 145, and I just saw pictures of that, and I'm like, oh, I looked really good. And I don't know that I'm going to get down on that because I wasn't lifting then; I was only running.
Right.
So I'm guessing that I'm going to have more muscle this time as I go through, but I'm going to keep working with my trainer.
Okay.
And at least once a week, and then have her program for me a couple of, another 1 or 2 times a week.
By contrast, I'm working on 6,000 steps a day around the neighborhood. So.
I got to 20,000 before we sat down and recorded today. So.
Yeah.
So there's that. Cool. And then, the other thing that I don't know if we talked about on the podcast, but it's something that I've done for the second quarter of this year.
Mm-hmm.
One of my wife's love languages is words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something I'm really bad at. So I decided that for 12 weeks, which is more or less a quarter, I think a quarter is just like 13 weeks or something, but yeah. I had a 12-week planner, I think. Mm-hmm. So that's why I went with 12 weeks. So a card every morning for 12 weeks so that I remembered to give her words every day.
Awesome.
And we've been able to do that. So
cool. I can see the smile on your face. You're proud of that.
And, and I think our connection has improved, which was the point of it. It was not just I was worried at the beginning that at some point I was going to just be writing notes to write notes and that the words weren't going to matter as much.
Mm-hmm.
And that I would be servicing the project instead of being of service to her, which is really the goal.
Right.
And I think that didn't happen. That she still enjoys getting them, and so
I know her. She's
I expected
amazingly appreciative person for her.
Yeah, and the other thing was I expected to get them to her at various times during the day, and there have been a few days that she didn't have them right when she woke up, but she had them before she went to work.
Right.
And I expected some days that she'd get them after she got home from work. And she's had them in the morning so that, just like vitamin K, we talked about at the top of the episode, before the rough stuff happens during the day, before the stuff you can't control happens, she's got her words from me. Awesome. So
very good.
Able to facilitate that.
Cool. Proud of you.
So I'm gonna call the second quarter a success.
Sounds like it to me, sir. And I've got some success in mind, and I get some of the stuff I've done on my side has been small, but it was a triumph over mundane things I just didn't want to be bothered with. And to force myself past the who cares to, this needs to be done.
Yeah, when the small stuff falls into place, the big stuff usually follows.
Yeah. So, and there are some nice things that have followed with that. So I intend to keep that up. And so for our third quarter wrap up, I plan to have some good news.
Good.
A lot of good news. So, yeah, including... Oh, because I also lost, I got down to 175 from 180, so I was
nice. So you dropped some weight, and I can tell you, Kelvin was getting toward. Wasn't quite Cornell West, but he was getting there. And when I fired it up, there's a nice haircut, and they took.
Yeah, but now you can see how big my ears are. That's. That's a problem. But yeah, all in all, I'm feeling very good. I've had some nice wins this year. I've had some coaching successes where people have come back to me lately and said, you changed my life by this thing right here. And I'm like, I really should be putting that out to more people. So I'm also
you really should
working that out. So, and that's the way. I like it.
Well, thank y'all for being here. Rate, review, pass along, share. Yeah, share. That's the other one. Rate, review, share.
Yeah, share. Yeah. Or don't forget to send money. Yeah, you can send money. That works too. Yeah.
And come to jkwdpodcast.com for show notes for this and all our other episodes. vitaminkdaily.com. Get yourself 4 weeks free. And tell us what you're working on in your life and how you're going to win the third quarter of the year, especially now that most states are opening up and people are going to be leaving their houses for the first time in 16, 17 months in some places. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. Show notes and more at jkwdpodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends, and we will see you next week. Bye. A Better Humanhood production.